Today, we will talk about how to build a fallout shelter. Let's have a look at the details. While experts say nuclear war is unlikely, building a fallout shelter can still help provide peace of mind during these uncertain times. A nuclear fallout shelter, also called a bomb shelter, protects you and your family after a nuclear attack or disaster. You can begin building a simple shelter by digging a trench and covering it with roofing logs and dirt. This type of shelter, called a pole-covered trench shelter, is waterproof and radiation-resistant when constructed properly. The first step is excavating the soil. Choose a building area on stable ground away from obstructions. Try to select stable ground where trees and buildings won't fall on your shelter. If you're in a city, you can build a reinforced shelter in a basement. The concrete can protect you from fallout and falling debris. Research the topography of your area. Your government's local land survey office will have them available. Also, check with the emergency response office. Print out a blueprint for the shelter you want to make. Having a clear blueprint will help you construct a stable, effective shelter. Stake out and clear the building area for construction. Plot out the shelter's perimeter according to your blueprint. Dig a trench and move the dirt out of the excavation area. Begin digging out soil to form the basic outline of your shelter. Move the excavated dirt 10 feet beyond the stakes. You will need to keep the dirt away so it doesn't fall back into the trench. Create an emergency exit at the far end of the trench. The emergency exit will also serve as extra ventilation. Make a second crawlway for the entrance. Keep the entryway below ground, emerging away from the shelter's main living quarters. The second step is creating the shelter roof. Lay wooden roofing poles side by side over the trench. Get poles that overhang the trench by at least 2 feet, so they are less likely to collapse. Stack poles in front of the entryways to keep dirt out of them. Tie them together with strong rope or wire, binding them to the closest poles hanging over the trench. Waterproof the logs with a tarp or another plastic material. Make sure you cover any gaps between the logs so water and dirt can't fall into the shelter. Cover the logs with an 18-inch earth dome. Pack the earth around the entryways to seal out water. Hang plastic canopies over the entryways to protect them from water. The third step is installing living features. Install a hand-operated ventilation pump in the emergency exit. Set up a toilet in a separate area of the shelter. Make beds and other furniture for the shelter. With a pole-covered trench shelter, the best way to set up furniture is to make hammocks. Pack food, water, and other necessities. Food and water are the most important supplies, so keep them in abundance. Plan on having at least 1 US gallon of water per person per day. Keep a supply of dry food that will last you about 2 weeks. Also bring along medical supplies, disposal bins, and extra clothing. And the fourth step is making a shelter in a building. Find a room made out of concrete. The best shelter rooms are underground, although you can convert any concrete room into a shelter. A basement is often a great place for a shelter. Shield the walls with heavy materials like sandbags. If you have time, stack sandbags near windows and other spots where radiation can leak in. The more you cover the walls, the more protection you have against radiation. Stock the shelter with food and other necessities. Plan on keeping enough supplies for at least 3 days. Fill it with clean, bottled water and snacks that don't require much preparation. Leave small vents for air at the entrances. Seal up the entrances with sandbags or other resistant material. Leave a small gap so that everyone in the shelter has enough air to breathe. Thanks for watching this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel if you like our videos.